Magnesium oil. You've probably seen it popping up everywhere, right? It's being talked about as this miracle spray for those awful muscle cramps. But is it a real game changer? Or is it just really good marketing? Well, today, we're going to find out. Oh, you know that feeling. You're deep asleep, and then bam, that sharp, seizing, lightning bolt of pain in your calf or your foot just jolts you awake. Or hey, maybe it's that deep, nagging soreness after a tough workout that just refuses to go away. It's something pretty much all of us have gone through, and man, is it frustrating. You know, with all the complicated recovery gadgets and potions out there, a really simple solution is getting a ton of attention: magnesium oil. People are grabbing this stuff, hoping it's the simple key to getting some quick relief from those annoying muscle pains. And if you look online, the testimonials are, well, they're pretty powerful. Thousands of people are straight up calling it a game changer for everything from better sleep to faster muscle recovery. But, amazing stories are one thing. What's the science actually have to say about it? Now, one of the biggest names you're going to see out there is 7 Minerals. They really market their oil as being super high quality, sourced from pure magnesium chloride, and refined to meet the tough standards of the United States Pharmacopoeia, or USP for short. All right, so here's our game plan for digging into this. First, we'll look at the big promises behind this miracle spray. Then, we'll get into the science of whether it can even get through your skin. After that, we'll check out what the research says, and then give you a handy user's guide. And finally, we'll deliver our verdict. Is this stuff all hype, or is there real help here? First up, is this really a miracle mineral spray? Let's unpack all those bold claims, especially when it comes to stopping those horrible muscle cramps in their tracks. So before we can even talk about the oil, we have to talk about the mineral itself. Magnesium isn't just some fad supplement, it's an absolute powerhouse. Your body needs it for over 300 different reactions. We're talking everything from creating energy to keeping your blood pressure in check. But most importantly for us today, it's absolutely crucial for muscle and nerve function. Now here we get to the core claim, and a brand like 7 Minerals says it best. They claim their oil is 100% absorbable. The whole idea is that by spraying it right on your skin, you're sending that magnesium straight to your cells. You completely bypass the digestive system and all the problems that can sometimes come with taking supplements orally. And that leads us to a massive question. Section 2, the science of skin deep. Can this mineral really make it through our body's biggest protective barrier, our skin? This is where it starts to get really, really interesting. The scientific idea here is called transdermal absorption. Basically, the theory is that tiny magnesium ions can sneak through your skin, mostly using your hair follicles and sweat glands as little doorways. This route would let the mineral get right into your system, totally avoiding the gut. So, this sets up 2 totally different ways to get your magnesium. You can take a pill, which we know works, but let's just say it can sometimes cause some digestive distress. Or you can use a topical spray, like the one from 7 Minerals, and you don't have to worry about that at all. The catch? Well, scientists are still arguing about whether spraying it on your skin can actually raise your body's magnesium levels in a significant way. And this quote from Verywell Health just cuts right to the chase. It's still a big question mark whether using your skin is actually better than taking a pill. We just need more solid research to figure out how much magnesium is really getting in that way. Which brings us perfectly to our third section. What does the research actually reveal? Let's take a look at the studies that we do have. They're a bit limited, but honestly, they offer some pretty fascinating clues. And this table really illustrates where we're at with the science. We have a couple of small studies that show some potential. For fibromyalgia, one study found a topical spray might help. For nerve pain related to kidney disease, another saw fewer symptoms. And for knee osteoarthritis, adding magnesium seemed to improve pain. But you've got to look at the limitations. Tiny sample sizes, and they're focused on very specific conditions, not the everyday muscle cramps most people are buying it for. So here it is, the bottom line on the research. For the number one reason people buy this stuff, to get rid of common muscle cramps, the big, robust scientific studies, they just aren't there yet. Right now, the proof is pretty much all stories and personal experiences. So if the hard proof is thin, why do so many people swear by it for cramps? Well, there's a very believable reason it could work. It's called the calcium antagonist theory. Think of it like this. Calcium rushes into a muscle cell to make it tense up and contract. Magnesium's job is to be the gatekeeper. It comes in and pushes the calcium out, which allows the muscle to finally relax. A cramp is just a muscle that's stuck in contract mode, so in theory, a direct shot of magnesium right where it's needed could help it chill out. That brings us to section 4, a practical guide. If you're thinking about trying it, let's walk through how to actually use it and what you should expect, based on what brands like 7 Minerals recommend.
Okay, the process is super easy. Just start with about 4 to 6 sprays on clean skin. A lot of people like to spray it on the soles of their feet, their stomach, or just right onto whatever muscle is sore, like your calf. Gently massage it in and then just let it sit for at least 20 minutes before you even think about rinsing it off.
Now, just a quick heads up on what you might feel. A little bit of tingling or even a slight stinging feeling is totally normal, especially when you first start using it. You might also feel a bit itchy, and don't be surprised if it leaves a kind of white, salty film on your skin after it dries. That happens, it's normal. And that leads us to our final section, hype versus help. After looking at all of this, the claims, the science, the experience, what's the final verdict on using magnesium oil for cramps? So let's just lay it all out. On the one hand, you have a mountain of positive reviews from people who say it works wonders. You have a solid scientific theory for why it should work, and it lets you skip the digestive problems of pills and is generally safe. But on the other hand, the hard clinical data for cramps is missing in action. Scientists are still debating how well it's absorbed, and for some people, it can be irritating. So we'll leave you with this question. When it comes to something like a muscle cramp, what's more important? The official scientific consensus, or just your own personal experience of feeling better? Magnesium oil lives in that fascinating gray area between what's been proven in a lab and what people feel works for them. And really, the only way to know which side you'll land on is to try it. Thanks for tuning in.